Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm so excited to have you all here today for this special event at today's K-Wave Business Talk. We will be diving into the world of Korean beauty. This event is proudly brought to you by Kpoppost, your ultimate source for all things K-pop, K-drama, and Korean entertainment. Kpoppost delivers everything a fan could want, along with the content that bridges the gap between fans and the global K-pop community. So if you want to stay updated on what's hot in the world of Korean entertainment, Kpoppost is your go-to platform. Alongside Kpoppost, we have beSUCCESS, a premier platform for innovation and entrepreneurship in Korea. We help connect Korean startups and businesses with the global market, fostering collaborations and sharing cutting-edge technology with the world. So for those of you who are K-pop fans and love K-dramas, you already know how Korean entertainment has this magical influence, not just on our playlists and binge watching habits, but also on our skincare routines. So today we will explore that connection and learn how Style Story has brought K-beauty to fans worldwide. But first, let me introduce the woman behind it all. Lauren is the founder and CEO of Style Story, one of the most trusted platform for K-beauty products. She's here to share her journey, insights, and the exciting role Korean entertainment plays in shaping beauty trends globally. So, Lauren, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, let's just jump right in, Lauren. We
Sure.
know Style Story has come a long way since its beginnings. Can you tell us what inspired you to start Style Story and how your time in Korea influenced your passion for K-beauty?
Sure. So my journey with Korea it actually started a very long time ago at this point. So 2011 was the first time that I ever went to Korea, and I did a semester of my university degree at Yonsei University in Shincheon. And while I was there, I discovered K-beauty as well as a whole lot of other things that I never knew about, Korean culture, food, language, and all of those sort of things. But K-beauty, I think, really was the thing that kind of stuck with me for a long time after that, because I discovered all of these new products while I was in Korea. And I was just so shocked and so blown away by the quality of them. They were so good, they were so innovative, and they were so different from everything that was on the market in Australia, where I was from at that time. And it just seemed to me like there was this entire industry that was fully built, and it just was unknown to certainly most Australians at that point in time. So it was literally like falling down the rabbit hole, like Alice in Wonderland, discovering all these products. And I love them so much that I wanted to take them back to people back home because I thought that they would like to try them as well. So my semester in Korea started in August and then finished in December, which is Christmas. So I was like, all right, I'm going to buy a whole heap of products and take them back as Christmas presents. That way I'm done. I don't need to stress about it. And so that's what I pretty much did. And then a couple of months later, after everyone had tried their presents and been using the products for a few months, that is when I kind of realized that we were onto something with this K-beauty, because literally everyone came back and they were like, I'm going to need more of that. Where can we get it? And that sort of is what started my journey with Korea again, and also with K-beauty. Because once I finished my time at uni, I hadn't really anticipated going back again necessarily. I thought it was a fun time in my life. I enjoyed my experience, but like I had a job offer in Australia. Australia was my home, and like I was heading back. So yeah, it's really been a roller coaster ride since then, pretty much. Yeah.
That's so inspiring from the Christmas present to Style Story.
Yeah. It took a few years to sort of come, up with the idea and everything like that. But organically for a few years after that, I was, researching the products more, trying a lot more things, grabbing more products for people, in my social circle, for people that I worked with. And quite naturally, what usually happens with Korean beauty is when you start using it, your skin starts looking pretty noticeably different. And people start asking questions. They're like, well, hold on a minute. What's going on here? What are you using? Why does your skin look so good? And
Oh,
that's what happened for me and the people that I gave the products to. And so it was just a talking opportunity. Like people were asking more about the products, we were discovering more about them, and it was very, very organic. And that eventually led to me setting up, Style Story, which was Australia's first online e-commerce platform dedicated just to Korean beauty. Yeah,
it's clear that your experience in Korea played a huge part in shaping Style Story.
definitely.
Speaking of shaping trends, how do you think the rise of K-pop and K-dramas has impacted the global popularity of K-beauty?
I mean, I don't think you can separate the growth of K-beauty from the growth of, Hallyu and Korean cultural wave, because it's just natural that if you are consuming Korean entertainment, if you're watching dramas and things like that, you just see firstly the skin. I think that is the most obvious thing a lot of people notice is everyone has these perfect glossy complexions, but then there's also a lot of what we call PPL in Korean, which is like product placement and advertisement within the dramas themselves. And that kind of thing then gets people's interest piqued. What is this product that this person is using? And it's not uncommon that if a star of a drama is using a particular product that's heavily promoted, it will sell out. And we've seen that a lot at Style Story with products like the Kahi Multi Balm that was trending a few years ago at the height of the pandemic. I think the first drama that really made a huge impact was The King, the Eternal Monarch. And the lead character, who was played by Kim Go-eun, was like waving this pink stick around in seemingly every other scene, right? And that product just went absolutely viral. We couldn't keep it in stock for years after that. So I think definitely K-drama, whatever the K-pop stars are using, if there's a particular style or whatnot, that definitely then impacts the products that people are looking for with their skincare and makeup as well.
That's true. Korean entertainment had they do an excellent work in product placement.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah. It's a
It just
finely oiled machine.
yeah, it looks natural in K-dramas, and people just started buying everything related to that drama.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
I've even heard that like sometimes particular shades of like lipstick and things like that will sell out if the character is wearing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's right. We're all trying to get that perfect look in the K-pop or K-dramas.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I can see how Korean celebrities set the stage for beauty trends, right?
Definitely.
Have there been any products or routines from Style Story or Jellico that became especially popular because of certain K-pop idols or K-drama stars?
Yeah, I think certainly the look. So, for example, like in Korean beauty, we often say that there are like four different gwangs or glows that you can create, with either makeup or skincare products. And we definitely had that in mind when we were coming up with our Jellico collection. I mean, our concept is jelly skin, which is a soft, hydrated, translucent, bouncy, that really in Korean we call it teng, that kind of look and feel to the skin, and that's obviously extremely popular with a lot of different celebrities. So I think like how celebrities do their makeup in particular, that's another big thing that we've noticed with Style Story. So Style Story started out as a distributor of other Korean beauty brands. That was what we were doing. For 10 years, we did that. And then as of this year, we've decided to go all in on our own brand, which is Jellico. So that's kind of the transition that we've had. But we've kind of seen all of the different trends over the years, as K beauty has sort of moved through different styles. One of the earliest ones that I can remember that was really popular with a lot of drama stars was the gradient lip look. And it was basically a makeup technique for like giving the lips a different gradient. And if if I look back on that now, this is like a 10-year-old trend at this point. I'm like, why did we think that looked good? But there were so many products that were on the market to like help you achieve that look. And I think that's a pretty constant with K-beauty and K-drama. If the stars are into it, then definitely companies will come out and make products that help people achieve that look. Yeah,
Now, talking about innovation, K-beauty is always ahead of the curve. How
definitely.
do you and your team Angelico stay on top of the latest trends to bring fresh and exciting products?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think part of it comes from experience and seeing the trends that are in the market. The other thing is we interact a lot with the industry more broadly. So there are a lot of trade shows and exhibitions and things like that. And if you attend them like as consistently as I have, you can kind of see trends as they rise, and you can kind of get an idea of what's going to come next. So like our, I guess, brand philosophy and concept, when we first came up with it, that was all the way back in 2020. And that was really before jelly textures were really trending. They are really trending at the moment. There's a lot of different products like that. But I could just kind of tell that that was going to be the next big thing, that something about the way those textures looked when you are, filming things on social media and whatnot, and the way that it made the skin look. I just had a hunch that that was going to be a really big trend, and so we went all in on that. But I think just more broadly, like I'm often asked, what's going to be the next big trend for like 2025 or whatnot. And you can kind of see, if you watch the market, watch the industry, watch the new releases and things that are coming out, you will notice that there are either certain ingredients or certain types of products or skin looks or something like that that people are trying to achieve. And so a lot of brands will come out onto the market. One of the big things that's really trending at the moment that I think we will see more of next year is the beauty devices. There are a lot of companies that are making devices at the moment. And when I went to one of the expos earlier in the year, I could just tell. And like, this is going to be everywhere: home care, a microcurrent, all of these different kinds of devices that are aiming to either make the skin look more glowy, more firm, more elastic, lifting, tightening, all of these kind of things. Yeah.
Talking about beauty technology, beauty devices, we are going to have this, what I say, expo.
Yeah.
Uh, in beSUCCESS, we are hosting an expo about beauty tech. So I think we are going to invite you,
Oh,
and we are going to reach you out. Maybe you are
ex
interested in the expo.
I love expos. I'm always happy to go to K beauty expos. Anything to do with Korea expos, I'm there. I've been to so many.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay. We are going to send you invitation then.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Okay. AJ, we are all here because we love Korean beauty, right? But I think many of us also want to know the secrets behind that flawless skin that we see in Korean entertainment on the screen. Do you have any personal favorite K-beauty products that are also loved by K-pop idols or K-drama stars?
K-pop idols and drama stars, look, more so than a particular product. One of the reasons it can be hard to know which products a particular celebrity likes, there are a couple of different reasons. If they are contracted to a specific company, say one of the Amore Pacific owned companies, they're not going to be allowed to talk about non Amore Pacific branded products in their routines. So that can kind of skew it a little bit. They're not always contractually allowed to say what they're using, but a lot of different celebrities will have particular like hints, tips, or tricks and things like that that they particularly love. So some of the ones that I've picked up over the years are the 424 method for cleansing the skin, which is a really great one that I really love. And that's basically, how many minutes that you cleanse the skin for to make sure that you really take everything off and start with a really clean base, which is I think a little bit unique to K-beauty. I know Korea is not the only country that does like a double cleanse or a multi-step cleanse, but I think that that is a consistent tip or trick that you'll hear from a lot of different celebrities is the importance of washing their faces. The other thing is all of the different ways that they then hydrate their skin and bring hydration. So some celebrities love doing what they call a pack a day, which is basically a mask pack, a sheet mask, and they'll use that every single day. I know that that was all the rage for a while, and I religiously did it for a while, but then I became a little bit more concerned about the impact of the environment of using like single-use sheet masks. So now I prefer using a sleeping mask. Just because you can get more uses out of it. You can get like months worth of treatments in one jar. So it's a lot more economical for one and also a bit better for the environment because you're not throwing away all these single-use sheet masks. The other thing, I guess, that is a bit of a hidden trick or secret of the celebrities is all of the treatments that they have done either at a skin clinic or an esthetician. So yeah, I think that is not all of them talk about it, but all of the dermatologists that I speak to are like, you can guarantee that all of them are actually getting skin treatments done, whether it's skin Botox or boosters like Rejuven Healer, something like that. They are very, very regimented about their, we call it in Korean, pibu kwali, which is like skin maintenance. And that is like an absolute non-negotiable for any celebrity. Their skin has to be in tip-top shape. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very common thing for Koreans to go to skin clinic.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. There's a different way of looking at skin clinics, I think, in Korea versus certainly Western countries. You know, where I'm from, we kind of view dermatologists as like a last resort. If you have a really bad skin issue, maybe you have like severe acne or eczema or rosacea or something like that, that's when you would go and see one. Whereas Korea is all about prevention and, you know, prevention better than a cure. And that's the medical system as well as obviously dermatology. So people are much more on the front foot about that kind of thing. They don't mind sort of popping out in their lunch break and going and getting a facial or a treatment or things. And people get excited about that too, you know, like talking about the latest things. It's a lot more affordable in Korea than it is in a lot of other countries as well, which I think is an important point to note. Sometimes when I'm talking about that kind of thing, people are like, well, how does everyone afford that? But it doesn't cost hundreds of dollars like it does in the US, in Australia. It's, you know, a lot more affordable than that. So, and a lot more accessible. You don't have
Mm.
these huge long waiting times to get to see a specialist. You can pretty much just walk in on the day and go and have someone check your skin.
Maybe it's more affordable there because it's like a monthly basic need to go to
I
skin clinic
I think
in
so.
Korea.
There's also a lot more competition in the market. Like there are just the volume of skin clinics and dermatologist clinics. There are just so many more. I think a lot of countries kind of gatekeep a lot of the specialties in medicine, which means not a lot of people can become dermatologists. I know that's the case in Australia. The Australian Medical Association cap the number of dermatologists that they'll allow to become dermatologists every year, which, you know, creates this artificially low number of dermatologists. So I know that there are issues like that in other countries that don't necessarily exist in Korea as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, with global interest in K-beauty continuing to grow, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own K-beauty business?
Yeah, look, I think the market is very, very different from when I started my business in 2014. And that's because, you know, it is not this niche kind of thing that people don't know about. So there's not the same gap in the market as existed when I started my business. So I think you will need to be really, really strategic about it if you're starting a Korean business, a beauty business in 2024. There's a lot of competition, which drives the prices down. It drives the margins down, which means it's not as profitable as it used to be. The other thing that is very, very different from when I first started is the costs of acquiring new customers, advertising costs and all of that. So 2014 was like the beginning really of Instagram and Instagram advertising and all of that sort of thing. So it was a lot easier to get new customers back in those days. You didn't necessarily have to pay for it, whereas most things nowadays are pay to play. If you want to buy advertising space on any of the big social media platforms, you're going to be paying for it. So I think it is a riskier business in 2024 than it was back in the day. Certainly, I started my brand and my business with no business knowledge, really. I was just completely like thrown in the deep end. And I guess because the market wasn't as hot, I had time to try different things, make a lot of mistakes that didn't cost a whole lot of money. So I think anyone that would be starting a business in 2024, I think you would really need to have a very solid business plan. You need to understand the market, who your competition is, what kind of products are you going to be offering? If they're the same brands as everybody else, is that going to be a viable business? Like, why would someone buy that from you as opposed to somebody else? And I guess how are you doing that? Is it online? Is it offline? You're going to need to set up relationships with the brands. And again, the bigger brands are not going to be working with people directly who are just starting out, a small business, because they've already got existing distribution channels. I definitely still think there are gaps in the market for people to start businesses that have something to do with career in the K-beauty industry. And I actually run a consultancy part of my business where I do work with a lot of people that are doing that. Some of the kinds of people that I see doing that really successfully in 2024 are people like estheticians, people that are looking to bring Korean treatments or products into their own salon, who are using Korean techniques to come up with maybe a new method to do a facial or something like that. So they're studying the market, they're learning what they can, and then they're applying that in a different or unique way back in their home country to really give themselves a competitive business edge. The other kinds of people that we work with a lot are people who are looking to manufacture in Korea. And so they're looking to make their own Korean beauty products or something like that. And they want to know how to do it, who the best people to work with are, to give themselves that edge with manufacturing in Korea as opposed to other countries. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. When people bring that kind of treatment, Korean treatment, into their salon, because it's trending in my country.
Yes.
There are so many salons having this Korean hair treatment, and it's very popular here. But I don't know what's the difference between the Korean hair treatment with the usual one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's all of these kind of things, right, that you could bring into your own business, but I think you need to be very clever about it. I think gone are the days when you just want to give something a try. I think you would need to be very intentional about it, research, and actually come up with a proper plan. Whether it's maybe Korean style nails or hair or yeah, like facial techniques. I worked with someone earlier this year that was looking into a very, very specific type of Korean facial massage technique that she wanted to I guess incorporate the wisdom of that, but then make her own specific style. And I actually saw that she just did that. It came out in the news yesterday. So, that's a very successful strategy then for her. But she spent a lot of time working on that. She took a trip to Korea. We worked together to kind of figure out exactly what it was about this kind of technique that made it so special. So I think, yeah, you just need to be intentional about it and know that it is a competitive space now because people already know about Korean beauty. So it's not like this unknown thing that you can kind of just introduce to people and that's enough. You need to be, yeah, you need to have a plan.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, we have learned so much already, but now we would love to hear from all the attendees. If anyone has a question or comments or something to share, feel free to raise your hand or type it in the chat room so we will get to answer your questions. And we already have from Cindy here. Hello, Miss Lauren. Thank you so much for the great insight. in your opinion, how significant do you think is the impact of a brand ambassador for a beauty brand? For example, the Who Korea recently selected Kim Ji-won as its brand ambassador. Does it actually bring that huge difference in the impact for the brand as to which Korean celebrities become its brand ambassador?
So the answer to that question, I had the same question when I first moved to Korea because it's very different from the way things are done. Again, like in Western countries, we don't tend to have the same kind of, yes and no. Some brands do, but it's not the linchpin or a main marketing strategy. In Korea, it is so important. It's really, really important, not only for the brand, but also for the celebrity. Having an affiliation with a Korean beauty brand, one really successful one I can think of was Song Hye-kyo and her collaboration with Laneige. Back in the days when she was sort of an up and coming actress. Now she's one of the, best known, most loved actresses. But that came at a really, really important time when she was solidifying her career and her reputation. And being with a brand like that, I think really worked very successfully for both companies. The other thing is that Korea is a very homogenous society. Nearly everyone in Korea is Korean. And there's not a lot of things that differentiate a lot of people. What I mean by that is a lot of people, they have the same hair color naturally. They have the same eye color naturally. They have similar backgrounds. There's not this like big variation that you see in like multicultural countries. So having something like that, people can sort of hang their reputation on, that's really important to Koreans. They're very easily influenced by this kind of thing. So if a celebrity or person that they love is fronting a brand, then that is a big thing for them and would be a reason for them to actually go out and buy the product. Whereas it might not be the same in, say, America. Like if Anne Hathaway is the face of something, I mean, it's not a negative thing necessarily, but it's not going to necessarily make people run to the store and buy the product just because, a popular Hollywood celebrity is the face of the brand. It's a little bit different in Korea. Yeah.
Any plan for Jellico to have kind of brand ambassador?
Oh, look, one day I would love to do that. We're not quite at that level yet. What I would really love to do though is do like some collaboration with like, someone who is big in the industry and maybe like come up with a product together with them. I think that's probably one thing that we would really love to do in the next couple of years. And yeah, like create a special product. I'm not sure that we're necessarily at the level where we're going to be getting like top K-pop idols, so hopefully one day.
One day it will. Okay, the next question is the product placement is so subtle in dramas. Do you think it is a part of marketing by the brands, like we talked about before? It's from Anya. I think
Oh,
you still
yes.
remember her.
Of course, of course. Yes. Hi, Anya. So I think definitely it is a very, very, very deliberate strategy. And the product that I was mentioning, the Kahi Multibalm that Kim Goen was using, that was a key brand strategy of theirs was to do PPL in drama. And they became so famous as a brand for doing it in drama that they actually have like billboards in Seoul that kind of like pokes fun at the fact that they do so much PPL. So they're totally in on it. They know that is like a deliberate brand strategy for them. It's just like how some Korean brands that are really popular, but people overseas haven't heard of them. They use different channels, like home shopping, for example. Home shopping is actually a really big channel in Korea, particularly for like older women maybe in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. They do a lot of home shopping. So brands that are targeting people in that age group, rather than doing a pop-up at like a university district in Seoul, they would be targeting people through home shopping. So brands are very, very intentional. They know where their target market hangs out, so to speak, and they will create marketing contents that are designed to capture that side of the market. So yeah, it's very deliberate.
Okay, one last question from Karina. What challenges have you faced in introducing K beauty products to the Australian market, particularly considering the differences in climate and seasons between Australia and Korea?
Yeah, I think again, like over time, it's gotten a lot easier as people have learnt a lot more about Korean beauty. But in the beginning, I think one of the biggest things that we struggled with And something that was really, really important for us to do was actually educate people. Firstly, what even is Korean beauty? People weren't even necessarily sure about Korea. Like, as silly as it sounds, people would ask me, oh, North or South Korea? I'd be like, what? What are you talking about? Like, obviously, we're talking about South Korea, and then there was not the same perception of Korean beauty products and the quality. So people were kind of confused. Well, is this Japanese quality? Japanese beauty products are very synonymous with high quality, or is this Chinese beauty? Because that has different perceptions again in the Australian market, the quality of things that are made in China. So we really had to position it in the market and run people through all of the reasons that it was different and that it was better and that made them want to try it. So I think a large part of our business over the course of the years has just been that education piece, holding people's hand through it, and sort of letting them ask questions. And then we learned from the things that they were curious about. And so we could put more contents out to educate people around that. I think that the number one thing that was the big thing that people were very cautious about was whitening products. And products claiming to have skin whitening benefits, which of course in Korean beauty usually just translates to brightening the skin and making it look more luminous and glowy. But people were very worried that it meant bleach and that they were going to be bleaching their skin. And Australians spend a lot of money to buy fake tan so that they don't have to burn out in the sun. People did not want to make themselves look any whiter because a lot of Caucasian Australians are very white to start with, and they don't necessarily want to look whiter because, there's a concept, I guess, for a lot of people that pale looks a bit sickly, or like people like that healthy glowing tan look in Australia. So that was a big one that we really, really had to be careful about how we explained all of that, and assured people that they weren't going to be bleaching their skin if they use Korean beauty products. Yeah.
It's the delivery will be different from people in Korea and in Australia. We cannot say this product is a whitening product to
That's right.
Australians. Yeah.
It was almost like translating it, to be honest. Yeah, and explaining the differences. I mean, obviously, Australia does have differences in climate between, with Korea gets a lot colder, for example. So yeah, I think there are oftentimes slightly different products that will trend in Australia versus Korea. But yeah, I don't think we had as many problems with that kind of thing. I think it was more around just explaining even how to use the products. It wasn't necessarily obvious to people how to layer different products in their routine if they weren't used to using many different steps. The application techniques we use in Korean beauty tend to be a little different, with a lot of patting to aid absorption and light layers and things like that. That was all a little bit confusing. So we still have to explain that to a lot of people. Sometimes people say, I didn't understand why this product is so popular. And you have to kind of say to people, well, you're not using it right. Like it's supposed to be used a slightly different way to the products that you're thinking of. Yeah.
So it's also part of marketing. You have to educate the people.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the education piece. And I mean, it's good because you've always got a lot to talk about, I guess, with every new product that comes out. We really have to learn, well, what is this product doing? How are people going to use it and get the best results from it? But it's not always as intuitive for people that aren't as familiar with Asian beauty products. People that have been using K-beauty for years, they kind of just figure it out. But for a lot of people, if it's their first time, they find it very overwhelming, very confusing. That why are there so many products? Why are there so many steps? So
Yeah, yeah.
kind of just need to walk them through that so that they feel confident enough to try the products for themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you so much, Lauren, for sharing your journey and insights with us today. I think we're all walking away with much deeper understanding on how Korean entertainment and K-beauty is actually connected.
Good.
And maybe we get even a few new products to try out after this because of your recommendations, because of the routines. So thank you so much once again. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. Be sure to check out Style Story for all the latest in K-beauty, whether you're aiming for the perfect K-pop idol glow or want to recreate your favorite K-drama stars look, so Style Story has got you covered. Until next time, we are going to have another K-Wave Business Talk next month. So stay glowing and keep enjoying your K-pop and K-dramas and of course K-beauty. Once again, thank you Lauren and thank you everyone.